On the 2nd of July, 2018, a mountain in Guizhou province in China attracted international attention. At the 42nd session of the World Heritage Committee, it became the 53rd World Heritage Site in China. UNESCO's announcement of the new World Heritage Site states that the property's isolation has led to a high degree of biodiversity with endemic species, such as the Fanjing Shan fir and the Guizhou snub-nosed monkey. Only around 800 Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys remain in the wild, all of them within the borders of Fanjing Shan. In October of 2017, China Central Television decided to film them and the mountain in high definition. However, these monkeys are an elusive species. Few people have seen them, and even fewer know how to find them. The mists and dense vegetation make them hard to track, and even harder to film. Fanjing Shan lies in the northeast of Guizhou Province, China. It is part of the Wuling Mountains, a mountain range that traverses 4 provinces and municipalities in central China. Its peaks rise 2,000 meters above the meandering hills surrounding it. From here, the view is unobstructed for miles. At 2,575 meters above sea level, Fenghuang Peak is the tallest in the Wuling Mountains. The 2,494-meter-tall Old Golden Summit has been carved into fantastical shapes by the forces of nature. Another masterpiece of Mother Nature, the Mushroom Rock, has stood on this plateau for thousands of years. It is one of the landmarks of Fanjing Shan. Each layer of stone in the 10,000-volume book records a slice of geological history longer than that of the human race. Rosy mists sometimes embrace the golden summit at dawn, hence its other name, the Red Cloud Golden Summit. High up, its 2 peaks are separated by the Golden Dagger Gorge. The temples up here have been compared to a city in the clouds, a marvel of human engineering. The 10,000 Gemstones rock contains sediments from an ancient seafloor. This place was once under the sea. The peculiar topography and stunning views attracted devout Buddhists. They compared it to a pure land, the celestial realm of a Buddha. The various peoples who have inhabited this area over the ages all worship this mountain. Although it only covers a total of around 400,000 hectares, it provides shelter for an astonishing number of plant and animal species. But what is it that makes this place so special? In one valley here lies a large turtle-shaped boulder. Due to its shape and the peculiar patterns on its surface, geologists studying it have named it the Pillow Tortoise Rock. The pillow-like patterns are the result of lava cooling quickly when it comes into contact with water. It tells the story of the turbulent early days of Fanjing Shan. $1.4 billion years ago, there was nothing here but sea. Deep below the waves, red-hot lava poured out of the ground and settled on the sea floor. Thousands, then millions of years went by. Slowly, sediments began to build up, slowly building the foundation for Fanjing Shan. Around 500 million years ago, tectonic movements pushed this area upwards. It is one of the oldest former seafloors in China, south of the Yellow River. Being sturdier than the surrounding limestone, the metamorphic rock that makes up Fanjing Shan remained as the surrounding rock eroded. Now it towers 2,000 meters above the surrounding hills of northern Guizhou province, its sheer walls standing in striking contrast to the rest of the landscape. The complex topography here causes the climate to change markedly across different elevations, giving rise to an ecosystem that's different from the surrounding areas. Indeed, there's nothing quite like it anywhere else in the world. At the foot of the mountain, locals are attracting the attention of visitors with a special performance, Noor Theatre. These masks are used in rituals to drive away disease. According to tradition, their wearers gain the ability to communicate with the spiritual world. The people here believe that everything, including every hill and body of water, possesses a soul. They restrict their desires and actions to avoid offending the various spirits. This respect for nature could be one of the reasons this place has maintained its biodiversity. Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys are also known as white-shouldered snub-nosed monkeys. Locals call them Niuwei monkeys because their tail winds like the Niuwei River. Like all snub-nosed monkeys, their defining trait is their short noses. A common ancestor that lived in the Fanjing Mountains more than 1 million years ago later evolved into the Sichuan snub-nosed monkey, the Guizhou snub-nosed monkey, the Yunnan snub-nosed monkey, the Myanmar snub-nosed monkey, and the Tonkin snub-nosed monkey. All 5 species are endangered, but the Guizhou variety is the rarest. There are only around 800 remaining, fewer than the more than 1,000 pandas that live in the wild. In 1902, a British missionary named John Thompson became the first European to see a Guizhou snub-nosed monkey. The elusive monkey was not spotted again for more than 60 years. In 1967, local villagers captured a primate. Zoologists determined that it was a Guizhou snub-nosed monkey. Yangaoping is one of the monkey's favorite hangouts. This relatively flat area halfway up the hillside is populated by beeches, cherry trees, magnolias, and other trees. In April, monkeys come here to feast on the trees' fruits and fresh leaves. They're especially active to the west and south of Yangaoping. The tall trees and dense undergrowth provide them with the observation posts and cover needed to forage and play in safety. The Shuiqing gang is a species of beech endemic to this area. Growing everywhere from 300 to 2,000 meters above sea level, they're an integral part of the ecology here. In spring, their leaves are one of the Guizhou snub-nosed monkey's favorite foods. Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys are social animals that live in groups of up to 1 to 200. They move around on a daily basis. Although they stop wherever food is most readily available, their migration pattern follows a relatively stable, circular route. Their mating seasons are in April and October. During these periods, the monkeys gather in larger groups, and every canopy in the valley comes alive with movement. However, the dense foliage makes it difficult to spot the monkeys themselves. In 1984, a temporary observation post was set up at Yangaoping to study the monkeys. In 2005, Fanjing Shan National Nature Reserve made the outpost permanent and built 2 makeshift cottages on a relatively flat piece of land. This tiny outpost shoulders an important task. Every day of the year, the people stationed here look into the hills, hoping to catch a glimpse of the elusive monkeys. Some of them work here until they retire. In the dense forest in one of the valleys here lies a wildlife rescue center. Several Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys are permanent residents here. This little guy is 6 months old. He still breastfeeds. As a newborn, he weighed only about 500 grams and had to be carried around by his mother. 1 week later, he was strong enough to hold on to her on his own. Although he's already an agile climber, he still nestles up in his mother's arms when it's time to sleep. Other snub-nosed monkeys produce offspring every 2 years. These only produce 1 every 3 years. Low survival rates further contribute to their low numbers. Thus, the baby at the rescue station is the object of much love and attention. In 2013, his mother fell behind the rest of her troop due to an injury. Rangers found her and brought her to the rescue center. Thanks to an amputation and a careful treatment, she survived. The father was found heavily injured in a tree by the river by some villagers. He had most likely been driven from his troop after challenging the alpha male. He recovered after several months of care at the rescue center. Here, he is the alpha. Both mother and father grew up in the wild. This female belongs to the 3rd generation of monkeys to be born at the rescue center. She was one of 3 monkeys born that year. The other 2 now live in Beijing Zoo, the only other place in the world where these monkeys live in captivity. Although these monkeys are healthy and far from tame, they can never return to their true home. After being held captive for so long, they'll struggle to adapt to life in the wild. More importantly, they may have caught any number of germs during their time living close to humans that could bring havoc to the wild population. At the core area of Fanjing Shan, millions of years of geological activity has created a unique landscape that has a climate of its own. In one of these valleys, on a steep hillside only accessible on a path that takes you along high ridges and across many ravines, an ancient species of tree has been found, the Fanjing Shan fir. It only grows here. Fanjing Shan fir was first discovered a little over 40 years ago. However, many questions surrounding it have yet to be answered. Yang Chuandong, a local botanist, has studied the flora of Fanjing Shan for 3 decades. He shoulders the task of collecting data about the Fanjing Shan fir. He has also discovered many new plant species here. In 2017, Yang Chuandong discovered that a species of snake root that had been believed to be of the Japonica variety was actually a new species entirely.
It is said that recording a new species is no easy task. Scouring these steep hills for a plant just a few centimeters tall is like searching for a needle in a haystack. For the sedum Fanjing Shanensis, it took 3 years. 那就翻进景天，13年才发表的一个新的类群，更进一步的丰富了这个景天属的植物多样性。
Fanjing Shan fir prefers shady and wet environments. It lives only in a small area from 1,900 to 2,300 meters above sea level on the northern slopes of Fanjing Shan. This hidden valley might be its last refuge. How many trees grow on this steep hillside? How many of them are saplings and old trees? Has their population increased or decreased over the last few years? These are some of the questions that local biologists seek to answer. The team follow a shallow crevice into the thicket. They use measure tape to mark off a square within the grove. Within this area, they're going to record different tree species and measure their height and diameter, among other data. The weather here can change suddenly. Nearly clear skies have given way to dense fog and rain. Unusual for its position in the Chinese heartland, Fanjing Shan sees up to 270 days of rain per year and annual precipitation of up to 2,600 millimeters, comparable to China's monsoon-prone southeast. It is said that there are 99 streams here. The rains and wet climate provide the perfect conditions for plants that like shade. Lichen and fungi grow on branches and stones and between grasses. Just about anywhere there's free space. More than 20 species can inhabit a single square meter.
这是体灯藓科的，这个是锦藓科的，这是苔，这种是苔，这雨苔，这种棉藓，还有这种鱼藓，鱼藓科的鱼藓。
The latest survey by local researchers shows that Fanjing Shan has a stunning 657 species of lichen. In the dark and humid environment of the hill's shadow, growth for the Fanjing Shan fir is painfully slow.
You can see it下面就非常陡峻了，这里就下不去了，就从侧面绕过去了。对，
全部都是悬崖了。
是，所以要调查的这个数量很不容易。
95% of the ground is covered in dense undergrowth and a thick layer of lichen, which makes it difficult for the firs to set root. To make matters worse, the trees produce few seeds, and of those they do produce, only around 1 in 10 grow into saplings. Even if the young trees do get that far, the dense vegetation continues to hinder their growth.
1年、2年、3年、4年、5、6、7、8、9、10，这11年了，这个橘子是来了，长那么大弟弟，不容易。
It's a silent struggle. It's not enough for the seeds to be well nourished and strong. More than anything, they need luck. They have to fight a merciless battle for 10 years or more before they can enter the next stage of growth. And even then, the timing has to be just right. In this valley, the struggle for survival never stops. When the Fanjing Shan fir has grown taller than the surrounding undergrowth, it relies on a grown fir to die and open up a window in the canopy. If it's not so lucky, it'll have to bide its time in the thicket. It most likely took this stately fir decades, even centuries, to gain this opportunity and grow tall.
身高至今4米，多近了
9米、10米、4米5。
是雄性65，能杀小苗24株。
10米乘10米，100个平米呢，1.5米以下的呢有24株，1.5米到3米高的呢有6株。那么证明呢，这个群落呢，从目前来看虽然有枯死的现象，老树，但是它这个群落呢，应该是一个稳定的。
The sensitive firs serve as a canary in the coal mine for global climate change. The Fanjing Shan fir is the latest species of fir to be discovered. These trees might contain information about ancient climates and plant evolution. They're a Class 1 protected species in China, and the International Union for Conservation of Nature has made them a key protected conifer. Just like the firs, the Guizhou snub-nosed monkey is also critically endangered. They only live on Fanjing Shan. To protect them, the reserve has decided against providing them with food. The lack of exposure to humans means that they're extremely shy, and few have ever seen one in the wild. Venturing deep into the forest, hoping to film them, is a near hopeless task. This camera crew has picked a location with a relatively unobstructed view, hoping to catch a glimpse of the monkeys. The wait is long and excruciating. Suddenly, a monkey leaps into view. However, excitement soon turns into disappointment.
没有，这个是那个是藏球猴，不是金丝猴，不是咱要找的，不是，这个是藏球猴。这么仔细地看。
The Tibetan macaque is the largest macaque species in China. Adults are about 70 centimeters tall, but their tail is less than 10 centimeters long. Despite its name, it cannot be found anywhere in Tibet. Snub-nosed monkeys tend to keep their distance from the macaques. The crew returns to base with nothing to show for their hard work. Fanjing Shan is home to more than 6,000 species of animals and plants, including 35 protected animals and 31 protected plants. New species are discovered every year. This diversity, which is comparable to that of the Andes in South America, is one of the main reasons Fanjing Shan was awarded World Heritage status. The special climate and geology here have given life to a rich variety of species. Fanjing Shan is home to the richest and best preserved primeval subtropical forest on this latitude. Spanning several vegetation belts, it shelters a multitude of rare species. The mountain is a safe haven for northern species migrating south, and southern species going the other way. The Chinese dove tree, which has been in existence for around 60 million years, is a beneficiary of this unique climate. More than 10 groves can be found here, one of the highest concentrations in the world. When they bloom, their leaves take on the shape of a dove's wings, hence their name. The white leaves are easily mistaken for flower petals. Indeed, they rival many flowers in their beauty. These strange leaves and large flowers belong to a Chinese tulip poplar tree. Another relic, it's also known as a mandarin jacket tree, due to its leaves' resemblance to a traditional Chinese garb. Along with an American relative, it's the only remaining species of the genus Liriodendron. These two tall Phoebe Junun trees grow next to the drum tower at Jiaxia village near the mountain. They're over 100 years old. But their age fades in front of this crepe myrtle. It's more than 1,300 years old. This 34-meter-tall tree is another relic from another era. Only one other crepe myrtle in Fukuoka, Japan, approaches its height. The steep precipices and secluded valleys of Fanjing Shan provide excellent habitats for wild animals. Many rare species of birds and animals thrive and prosper in this unique ecosystem. The Temminck's tragopan is about the size of a chicken. The male has plumage and a black crown on its forehead. Its common name, horned pheasant, comes from the blue fleshy horns on the sides of its head. The red-billed blue magpie has the biggest body, longest tail, and brightest colors of any magpie. It's a common figure in traditional Chinese bird and flower paintings. The nocturnal porcupine wards off attackers by pointing its quills towards them. It is said that it can launch its quills if it is provoked. The Ime mustache toad is an amphibian unique to China. During the mating season, dark spikes grow on its upper lip. Locals say that the mountain can experience all 4 seasons in one day, and that when its base is covered with peach blossoms, its peak may well be covered in snow. Mists and clouds often obscure the mountain's hills and peaks, lending to them an air of mystery. This thick veil can make it extra difficult to observe the snub-nosed monkeys. In 2010, local researchers began installing infrared cameras to observe the behavior and habits of the monkeys. Beginning at lower altitudes, they worked their way up the hills. Later, they began covering a number of key areas. There are more than 200 cameras within just a few kilometers of the outpost, observing the animals 24 hours a day. Despite the difficult roads and changeable weather, rangers and researchers continue to view recordings, maintain the cameras, and collect data. These cameras have captured vast amounts of footage over the last 9 years, revealing many details about the daily life of the monkeys. This infrared footage is crucial to determine the real size of the population. The monkeys that we can see using binoculars and cameras form only a part of their total number. There are many more on lower branches and on the ground. This footage was captured by an infrared camera on ground level. The monkeys seem rather at ease down here. However, when one of the sentries issues a warning call, they disperse immediately. The camera crew has tried to capture footage of wild Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys for over 2 years, without luck. In April of 2019, they decided to try one more time. Just like the last few times, they went days without seeing so much as a monkey's tail. The mountain was again testing their patience with its mystery.
那边上面没有信号是吧？
把它调好。
喂。
那边还有云。啊，好，谢谢。
It's noon, and the monkeys appear to be taking a siesta. Only a few youngsters are playing among the branches. After the siesta, one male picks a high branch and relieves himself. This troop consists of around 60 monkeys. They're separated from the crew by more than 100 meters and a ravine. The natural barrier seems to make them lower their guard. An hour later, they seem to have noticed that they're being watched. A sentry carefully observes the observers. But the others go about their daily business. There are many young monkeys among them. The infrared cameras have observed the same tendency. This is a good sign, as it means that the wild population is doing well and is reproducing properly. Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys spend most of their lives in the trees. Their tail, which is longer than the rest of their body, helps them keep their balance as they move from branch to branch. This one, though, appears quite agile despite having lost its tail. Perhaps life in the mountains isn't quite as tranquil as it appears. We still have much to learn. After a while, one of the monkeys looks in the crew's direction. He lets out a few calls, attracting the attention of the others. Almost the entire troop are now curiously observing the crew. After 2 years and 6 trips into the mountain, the crew has finally filmed Guizhou snub-nosed monkeys in the wild. Now that the hard work has finally paid off, all of their previous struggles are forgotten. After all, they've been given a rare opportunity to observe these elusive monkeys up close. They have also, for the first time, captured 4K footage of the monkeys in their natural habitat. Perhaps disturbed by the crew's presence, or because it's getting late and time to find a place to spend the night, the monkeys lose interest and leave. A few minutes later, the whole troop has disappeared among the leaves. And the hills are quiet once more. Another note has been added to the million-year-long symphony of Fanjing Shan. Humanity's greatest virtue is restraint. For the mountain, it's its wildness. The respect for nature displayed by the local people has played an important part in preserving this pure land. Here, oceans have churned. Rocks emerged from the sea, and the ground shaken. Now, this lush place, with its kind climate, is home to countless living creatures. Every layer of rock, thick or thin, every tall tree and tiny shrub, every animal, big and small, confide in us a part of the mountain's history. May they live on here as long as the mountain still stands.